Less than one episode after I brought the series back, the Ravine gifted us with a heavy hammer. Now to find out if Mystery Lake feels like giving up a fire striker or anything else really nice on our way to Milton. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more of The Long Dark in our Against All Odds series. So we are now, actually, you know what? Let's head up to the second floor first. We also found, on the way through the ravine, we found a full, we're going to go down real quick just to see if there's anything at the bottom. Huh, Christmas lights, nice. We found a very full jerry can. I don't think it was actually completely full, but it was full enough to fill up the lantern. So we have been taking advantage of that and trying to conserve lantern fuel as we make our way through this monstrous building in search of any nice loot that may or may not be here for us. We'll have to find out. All right, so there's a book. If I need to start a fire, I know how I'll be doing it. So the heavy hammer was a very helpful find. One thing I mentioned at the end of the last episode is that I'm going to be actively thinking about whether or not we go to Forlorn Muskeg next. Awesome matches. Nice. Whether we go to Forlorn Muskeg next or whether we go to Milton next. I'm kind of tempted to still head towards Milton, but there's a part of me that's like, well, there are a couple different ways I could do this. I could leave the heavy hammer like kind of just inside Forlorn Muskeg. That way when I come in from Milton, I can like kind of go grab it and then take it to the forge. That way I'm not lugging the heavy hammer with me everywhere. And that, now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably what I will do. But there's also, we could just go to the Forlorn Muskeg, get lots of cattails, get the tools, and then go into Milton with more of an ability to defend ourselves. You know? So, there are different possibilities. Oh, interesting. That is a searchable drawer, even though it's wide the heck open. Always worth it to kind of point at everything that looks like it might be lootable. Because you never know when you might have something like that going on. Okay. Most of the time in the Long Dark, if a drawer is pulled open partially like that, you're not going to be able to search it. But every now and then, Interlin breaks their own rules. They just decide they're going to mess with us. And make us check things more frequently than we already check them. Just so that we're sure. Just so that we're confident in our survival plans. Because you gotta be sure. Alright, some cloth. That's nice. I do have plenty of extra cloth, and I found a bandage last episode, which is a nice find, because I've had to make them the past couple of times. Wouldn't be surprised if I found another one in the dam somewhere before we're done. Because, again, this is a really big loot space, so I'm hopeful. That's an upside-down drawer. Nothing to be found there. Can't even break it up, in fact. One nice thing about arriving at the Carter Hydro Dam with a hacksaw, which is sitting down in that briefcase at the entrance at the moment, is that the hacksaw would allow me to break up some of this metal stuff, like metal shelves for scrap metal. So if I needed, and metal chairs too, like you just saw. So if I needed scrap metal like more urgently, that's something that you can kind of keep in mind. I'm not doing that right now because I know that there's going to be scrap metal near the forge in Forlorn Muskeg, so I'm just not concerned about it. I will find more there. There'll be more near the forge and more along the rails. Forlorn Muskeg is a pretty easy spot when it comes to finding scrap metal. But if you're ever wanting to stock up, and you have a hacksaw when you get here, it's a very handy thing. Oh yeah, that's right. Need to keep going further down. Now we go into the lower levels of the dam. This is Fluffy's former territory. We were talking about Fluffy a good bit last episode. If you missed it, we did have our first episode back after a long pause. If you're in the live audience, that was on Saturday. And so if you're watching this, I know it's a few days later, but unless you're a champion, in which case you're watching them both in a row. But you know what I mean. If you missed it, previous episode available as well. And it's good to be back. Gone way too long. It's nice when hardware works and you can trust that it works, right? All right, checking up here for anything, not really. Trying to pay close attention, look for anything lootable. Not seeing too much. I'm trying not to move too quickly too, because that can create problems. All right, so there's nothing here aside from planks, which can be broken down. Let's go up to the other side before we head down into the deeper reaches of the dam. I don't have all the lantern fuel in the world. And I'm aware of this. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. Oh, damn. That's right. You can only go up that staircase. You know what? I would rather... Come on, let me cross. Speaking of pathing across obstacles, we were talking about that at the end of the last episode when we were talking about Fluffy. I think I'd rather go down first. Green flare, search frozen corpse.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Revolver cartridge. I don't know, do you need it anymore? No? Cool, thanks. Yeah, given the amount of lantern fuel I have left, I'd rather be here. Wait, that was a whetstone? That's what I'm talking about when I say look under things. It's a little bit more obvious. Sometimes, especially if it is a fire striker, those things can hide, and you'll miss one without even knowing you missed it. Well, that's what missing things means. You don't know what you don't know. But I guess that's something that you say a little bit differently when you're a YouTuber. Because you can miss things and someone else will point it out to you. But like the fire strikers can be so well hidden that like not even a viewer will catch it, right? And then you're really screwed because nobody saw it. Okay, those are some fleece mittens. I've already got fleece mittens on. Game loves to give me fleece mittens for some reason. I'm not gonna complain. There's another hacksaw. Nice. I'll hold on to that for now. Okay, oh, there's a sewing kit as well. Okay. Finding some decent loot down here. I need to move really fast if I want to use this lantern for everything that I'm trying to use it for. I'm really hoping to find another jerry can down here. That would be ideal.
Man, I could use a drink.
Could you? Thankfully, we just raided a bunch of toilets. Nothing over there. Okay. Yeah, starting to really pay close attention to that lantern. Because I think I have... Yeah, I've got some torches on me. So, like, I could chain some torches to get back out of here. But I prefer to waste as few of those as I have to. The main thing is just remembering to go back up to that second top area in the middle, we're going to call it the middle section of the dam. You know, when you go down the staircase in the upper Carter Hydro. I skipped that section so that I could go straight through here and use the lantern fuel for this part of the exploration. Otherwise, it would be almost out right now. Glad I did that. That was the right call. Anything here? Nope. At this point, I'm almost like frustrated when there's a locker that's locked because of the extra time taken. You know? All right, there's another quality toolkit. I love that they changed the shape of them. That was one thing with, not the most recent update, the hotfix, but the last major patch. quality toolkits now have a different looking top. I haven't found any woodworking tools yet, though. So as far as, like, the tools that you use to customize interiors, nada. Nothing yet. I'd be really curious where those spawn. Okay, so this lantern should carry me through the remainder of this room, and it might even light some of the way back. I just don't want to rush through here and miss anything incredibly obvious. There's some antiseptic. Don't need that. I've already got Old Man's Beard. Let's look through here. Nothing. Under there, nothing. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, I don't think there's going to be anything else to speak of here. I'll check these containers and then be done. Oh, nice. More coffee. The game's been pretty generous so far this playthrough with the coffee in particular. I've gotten a lot of coffee, given that I haven't been to too many spots. I need to dump that spray can that I picked up, because I don't need it. I think I'm starting to feel mildly disappointed with Carter Hydro, though, at this point. Like, there's... Alright, that is not something I'm getting into right now. That lockbox specifically. But yeah, this is not working out really loot-wise. There wasn't really anything major. The last major thing that we found was that heavy hammer in the ravine. So, that's unfortunate. The second hacksaw is, I guess, kind of nice. I'm not going to be too upset about that. But at the same time, I already had a hacksaw. Already had one. Don't need a second one per se. It's just kind of handy to have a fallback. Okay, may as well put this up for a second, and let's do a couple of things. First, I'm going to drink this Summit soda so that we lose that weight, because we are a little encumbered right now. Then I will eat these ketchup chips, drink some totally not toilet water, and then, since I just found some matches, I feel even less bad about doing this. Oh, that's a fresh torch, too. Apparently, I picked up a 100% torch somewhere. Oh, plastic container. Let's search that. I bet you there's a commenter who already typed a comment. You missed the plastic container. And that is why you let the video finish. Okay. Ooh, Frontier Shooting Guide. Nice. So, actually, yeah, hang on. This is why you look under desks and shelves and things. Interlin loves to hide stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, this torch is going to last me through the rest of the dam and then some. So this is kind of perfect. Anything under there? No. Anything in here? No. What if I walk back this way? I've already searched in here. Okay. It's just a side passageway. Really interesting because it's like there's not much benefit to it except when you have an aurora. Then it helps you get around some of the wires. That's when you're glad that that passage is there. Otherwise, you don't really worry about it. Alright, we are leaving the lower dam. Back in the upper dam. Now remember, we have to head over here, so let's do this. The torch is a little bit less amazing
If I can drop any of this gear.
in terms of lighting. I'm trying to be mindful of that. Alright, so can confirm, Fluffy has not been re-added to the dam. I was kidding when I made that joke, just to reiterate, but it was a funny thought. And a nostalgic thought for those of us that have been playing this game for 10 freaking years. What the heck? Can you believe that? I can't. Okay, so let's come up here and check the ends of the hallways. If there's nothing here. Let's check the opposite end. Doesn't look too promising, but we also didn't look at the end of the other pathway just yet. Yeah, over there. That's one spot where I'm hopeful that if there's anything nice in this dam at all, that's going to be where it is. Because we've looked everywhere else. We have literally searched the entire dam at this point. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything under those shelves. Nothing there. A cardboard box, a chair, some planks, nothing underneath. Oh my god. Alright. Well, tell you what, I'm going to break down this cardboard box real quick. We're not going to do it with the torch burning. So we did just lose a match, I know. I guess I could have thrown the torch on the ground. That would have made more sense, but I'm not worried about it. When it comes to life in general, but especially video games, whether you're recording for YouTube or not, and this might be a bit of a hot take, I guess, but like, efficiency is good. Thinking in terms of min-maxing, minimal output, maximum gain, is good. Perfectionism is bad. I'm not obsessed about wasting matches. A lot of players are. And if that's you, you can play the game the way you want. I'm not judging. But I'm not going to play that way. It's a waste of cognition, in my opinion, to be super concerned about wasting matches. It's good to be efficient and be concerned about it, but not obsessed with, like, not making a mistake. Because the mistakes are what makes gameplay interesting, and they're especially what makes a recorded playthrough interesting. Okay, let me double check in here just to make sure I didn't look back through anything, or that I didn't look over anything while I was first visiting. Nope, looks good. There are lots of books there that I'm not picking up, but I'm not terribly worried about that. Okay, so now we are going to pick up the bedroll. Waddle bottle. We are going to... I think I'll leave that spray paint and keep the spray paint that I have on me. That'll probably be a way to... Yeah. Yeah, that works for me. Now, we are pretty encumbered. That's a problem. I do need to do some reading. I would prefer to have more food before I go too crazy doing all that reading. Yeah, I'm really encumbered. So, yeah, that's a lot. It's mainly just the books that I picked up, and I did pick up that book, and I don't need it. So, I've got to make a call here about this. I think I need more... Oh man, I don't like this. I don't like it at all. Let me make sure I'm standing right here where I'm not on top of a live wire in case an aurora starts. The heavy hammer is definitely weighing me down more. Words, excuse me. But I have all these books that I haven't read yet. And I've been moving so much that they just kind of piled up in my inventory, and I brought them with me because I want to be able to read them, but it's reached a point where it's like, it's too much. So, with that in mind, let's cut back on some duplicates. We'll leave them here. I'll even make a note for myself that they're here. It doesn't ridiculously change or reduce my encumbrance. The water is also contributing a bit. The extra hacksaw, yeah, we can leave that too. We can drop the frozen angler in there. Have I read some of these? Hold on. Okay, no. I was just seeing that they're in different categories, and I was wanting to make sure. Okay, so now that makes us a little bit more mobile. Let's leave a quick note. Or rather... might be able to come back for those at some point in the future, but for now, it's not worth lugging them around everywhere. Now I have this torch, which I can continue to chain. I do want to have this lit for the extra warmth, and also because it might help me fend off any surprise wolves. I know it is. So we do have the outbuildings to check here. We're moving pretty slowly. I want to try and make it to the camp office as a place to set up shop for a bit and establish something of a temporary base. If we're lucky, we'll even find the woodworking tools, so I'll be able to play with those mechanics of it. I haven't done that at all on or off camera, so I'm really excited to test that particular element of things out, because I just haven't touched it. There's a lot that they've added to the game that wasn't possible before through the new safe house customization system. And it was something that I personally was excited about and suggested, along with many others. Excuse me. Voice started going gravelly for a second there. Okay. Let's quickly... Did I just hear footsteps? I'm going to get real close to this truck door just in case. Ooh, I hear ptarmigan. That's nice. Alright, so you can tell from the torch that the game pulled out that the torches I have available to chain
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
are not great. And that's unfortunate. But I'm hoping we can at least find some edible things here, because I don't have a ton of food left at the moment. I've got one cattail. There are going to be more cattails outside. Oh, there's some beef jerky. Perfect timing. Thank you for that. Let's go ahead and eat that. Maple syrup is also kind of weighing me down, but it's maple syrup. We can make pancakes with maple syrup, and I want to at least get it to the camp office before I leave it anywhere. So that's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, these torches are not good. Apparently, I'd already chained my best torches, and now I'm left with crappy torches. So I really should have pulled some more from the fire when I was in the ravine. But I didn't. Lessons learned. Let's keep moving. Anyone want to play? Anyone want to mess with me? Nope? Okay, cool. Good talk. I think I know what I want to try to do. Because we have just enough light and the weather is decent. I think I know what I can pull off here if I try. And I should be able to do it with the remaining time in this episode, unless the game throws me a massive curveball in like the next 90 seconds. Five and two, tomato soup. Tomato soup is also pretty handy for both thirst and food reasons. Okay, nothing there. Another bandage, okay. I was about to say Mystery Lake is being pretty stingy so far, but there's another bandage, I'll take it. Let's light this. Did I check those? I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I did. Did I look under them? More important question. No. Okay. Nothing else here. I did look under them, but there's nothing else in this entire location. Okay. I'm going to keep this torch out for a bit. Because if there are any wolves nearby, having this handy will decrease the likelihood that they mess with me. I've got a rifle now, so it's not something I'm hugely concerned about. But what I'm going to do here
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
is we're going to plod somewhat slowly down the most direct path that we have. The only problem with this that I can foresee at the moment is that in the next 10 minutes or so, which is approximately how much time we have left in the episode, you can look at the episode length and know if something went wrong immediately by just like, is it longer than 10 minutes? In the next 10 minutes, it's going to get dark and it's foggy. And because it's foggy, it's going to be dark. We're not going to have a lot of spare light, unfortunately. So I don't know. I'm questioning whether or not it's a good idea to go here now, or maybe do I try and stay, maybe I double back and I stay at one of the cabins overnight. Here's one thought. Because I don't see any wolves nearby. I can grab a few cattails. Let's get out the rifle just in case I need it. We're going to grab a few cattails. Yeah, this is what I'll do. This makes sense. I'm going to harvest up some of these. Because this is not a small amount of calories. This is enough to get me through a night. Keeping an eye out for wolves. It's so nice to not be sure when you're safe or not. It brings back the authentic feeling of the long dark for me, which I really appreciate. To not know for sure where the animals are and aren't. It's so great. I love the tension. All right, I'm going to grab a few more, then I'm going to double back. Because what I'm hoping for is if I spend the night here, first of all, it won't be dark. So even if the weather's crappy, I can move with more confidence that it's not going to be pitch black by the time I'm trying to get where I need to, like, go. You know, I probably need to drop some cattail heads now that I think about it. That's part of what's weighing me down. All right, I'm going to grab these last two, and then any that I see that I missed on the way kind of back to the cabins up there, or to the outbuildings. So we'll do that. All right. Anything there? No, I've got plenty of water. And the nice thing about this too is that I really do have plenty of water. It's weighing me down a lot. So drinking some of it before I head halfway across the zone will make the trip a little bit easier. I'll get rid of those cattail heads too. That'll help a little bit. Not a lot, but a little. Every little bit counts when you're this encumbered. This is really painfully slow, but I'm trying to get to the camp office before I drop anything off. And I think I do like the idea, which I kind of mused about earlier. I like the idea of leaving the heavy hammer at the entrance to Forlorn Muskeg. That's the sort of thinking at the moment. And not the Mystery Lake side, the Forlorn Muskeg side. I'll go into the Muskeg, go out towards where it kind of opens up into the swamp, and then drop the hammer. And then I'll go back into Mystery Lake, go to Milton, not have the heavy hammer to worry about, loot all of Milton, get the best gear that Milton has to offer, and then head into Forlorn Muskeg, grab the hammer, make tools, and feel more like a ruffian. I hear I hear a bear. I do. I just heard a bear exhaling somewhere. I think I did. I might be wrong, but I think I did.
I'm not
That's scary.
this load for much longer.
Okay. Metal shelf. Hang on, I think the bed in this one is all the way over here. Yep, there it is. Perfect. Okay, so first of all, we're going to eat a literal crap ton. Okay, not a literal crap ton, that's gross. But we're going to eat a lot of cattails. Plenty of these. I'm going to save that tomato soup for now, because it's 81% tomato soup, and everyone knows. Everyone knows that you can't eat tomato soup on this channel unless it's like low enough condition that it might be a problem. I'm kidding. I'll eat it at some point. But got to meme a little bit. I've been gone a while. Okay, so a few more cattail stalks. I'm going to go ahead and eat all of these because I will find more. It's Mystery Lake. I didn't even pick all of the ones. I picked most of them, but there are more cattails down there. I'm going to leave those acorns because that's a good emergency snack. Now we're going to drink this water to be fully topped off. Now the only unfortunate thing is that this amount of sleep, I'm going to say 9 hours. There's an aurora. I was expecting that because we do have auroras turned up to maximum frequency in this playthrough. Makes life interesting. Yeah, see, this is the one downside. This is what I was saying. Like, we weren't going to make it all the way through the night. So, if we had some light, I could read, but I can't. Like, because there's just no light. So instead, we will just pass time. There we go. I don't actually need... Hello? Isn't the door right here? Or is the door over here? Where the heck is the door in this cabin? I don't want to light a match just to find my way out of here. This is annoying. Come on. There it is. Lead trailer.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Oh yeah, I guess it is sunrise. Alright, I do hear a bear. I'm not sure how close it is. It's not super close. I might be about to eat my words. We'll find out. But my health is good enough right now, and the lighting is good enough, that I'm going to go ahead and start moving. We're going to do this. And I'm going to push it. We'll extend this episode a little bit, so my joke earlier is going to ring true 10 minutes ago or so, because this episode is going to be a little longer than planned, but it's okay. This is going to work. Being very mindful of the fact that there could there could be a wolf or a bear to my left, let alone to my right or behind me. All right, I don't see a bear down there anywhere. I see a prop deer. It looks like a prop, not a fresh kill. All right, there's a doe. Lovely sunrise as we begin here. Or really, it's not a sunrise yet. It's still twilight, but you can see the dawn light creeping over the horizon. In this beautiful game we all know and love. Now, there's a couple different routes I could take here. I could go that way. Or I can go this way. And I'm going to go this way because of the cattails along the river. But I want to remember to try and go that way at some point in the future. Because that's one spot where there may actually be a fire striker, believe it or not. There might be. I'm not positive, but what I am positive of is if I head down towards the river right now, there will be more cattails, and I need more of those. they are going to be my sustenance while I'm in this zone. And I do require sustenance. Okay. No animals to speak of. We're going to start making our way along the river. Pretty encumbered, but again, once we get to the camp office, we can unburden ourselves a bit and do a little bit more free exploration, because we'll eventually come back to Mystery Lake and grab whatever we left behind. It's a pretty common strategy, but what's interesting is that the last couple of times I've used it, it's been in the Season 0 runs of Against All Odds, which, if you missed those were deliberately lower difficulty runs that were designed to sort of refamiliarize and newly familiarize me with the updates to the game and some of the things that have changed. Particularly during Tales from the Far Territory, because so many new systems have been added. There are so many more recipes in the gaming now. Cooking is so much more involved. There are so many more ingredients you can find. High-level recipes that give you buffs that are almost entirely novel to the Long Dark. Like, they've never really been seen before. They've never been a part of gameplay before. But once you have the cooking skill to make the higher-level recipes, it really opens up different possibilities for how you can cook to improve your survivors' quality of life in the Long Dark. It's a really deep, interesting system, and it's also a deepening of the existing mechanics that I really appreciate. And that's just one example of the reason that the Season 0 runs kind of came in handy. And I didn't even fully explore the cooking system in the Season 0 run I dedicated to it. Like, we played with it, but the point is that they were easier runs. This is not. This is interloper adjacent. I did re-enable the rifle, so that makes life a little bit easier.
A new day is dawning.
But a number of settings are going to be either the same as interloper, harder than interloper, in some cases easier, but most of the time harder. Speaking of which, I think right around the time that my video card went out in January, which is 2 episodes ago and prior, I had said that, hey, this week I want to put out that video on, like, what the specific settings of the custom code in the description are. So, that's one thing that I'll be doing this week. Keep an eye out for that. By the time you're looking at this, it might already be out. I might have already gotten it done. But it's something that I've been mentioning since the first episode of the series that I wanted to do. So if you're curious, keep your eyes peeled, because I'll go into a little bit more depth about what's specific about this code, and if you want to use the code, it's in the description below, but it'll also be more thoroughly explained in that video. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, the the high encumbrance that I'm dealing with, low speed, is messing with my time management a little bit here. I'm going to try to push for the camp office as fast as I can. Because I don't want to spend too much time ambling on this ice. Finding plenty of cattails though, so that's making it worthwhile. I did hear a wolf howling in the distance a moment ago. Not sure how close or how far, but we're about to find out. It sounded like it was kind of on the right. So it might not actually be here, but I did just take a pretty hard swing to the right. So it may have come from this direction. We'll find out. Yeah, see, now that sounds like it's coming from the lake. And I do still expect there to be wolves out on the lake. That's almost a given. They're probably in slightly different positions, a larger or smaller pack, different patrol routes. I expect that. I just don't know specifics. Oh, you know what I didn't drop when I said I would? Let's drop those because we don't need them. I'll keep like 2 of them on me. There we go. All right, so we got a prop deer. That hasn't changed location. That's been there for a long, long time. Man, lots of cattails. So we do have cattails on the lowest possible settings. So this is one of the things that's actually harder than Loper, because as difficult as Loper is, Loper does have standard vegetation settings, the same as every other difficulty. There's no change, which is kind of wild when you think about it, because Loper really is about making the game as punishing as possible. Even Misery mode, unless they updated it since I played it, since I did the last Misery series, even Misery mode has more vegetation, more cattails, more rose hips, more reishi mushrooms, more old man spirit. It's got all that in higher quantities than the code we're playing on right now. But this is the nice thing about Mystery Lake and wandering this particular river, because nevertheless, lots and lots of cattails. Love this sunrise. Home, sweet home. Nothing better. There really is a feeling of homecoming for me whenever I'm coming through this particular pass, or when I'm coming, up to the camp office. I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. This is the original zone, after all. And now that we're here, we have a lot more to explore, because there are going to be cattails along the banks. But we also have the fishing huts. We have at least, looks like 2 cabins standing back there and more to the left. I'm hopeful for good loot from those. The main thing that I'm hoping for in Mystery Lake at the moment, now that we have our heavy hammer, is a fire striker. That would be nice. And then it's just a matter of gathering the things that we need to be fully mobile and self-sufficient. We might even... Oh, there's a wolf. Finally. All right, I need to be careful with this because I am shaky. Well, Jennifer's shaky. I'm not shaky. So we can't necessarily snipe that wolf at the moment. The wind is definitely blowing our scent toward him, so that's... I mean, we don't have a scent per se at the moment, but you know what I mean. The nice thing is we have this very flat ice. And he's also walking away from me, which is good. There could be another wolf, though, so... I'm trying to be thoughtful about that. Alright, keep an eye on that wolf in the background, because if he turns toward me, then what I'm doing right now will need to happen a lot faster. Okay, so he turned to the right, and now he's turned toward me. Okay. This is inconvenient. I have places to be, wolf. Literally and figuratively. Figuratively meaning I have to be there in the game. Literally meaning... Gotta stop recording. I have to. I have to. It's a requirement. I don't want to have to waste a rifle shot just to run you off. I really wish I had a rock on me right now, but I don't. Oh, I do. Hey. You'll get it. Damn it. Well, that worked for like 5 seconds. But now the wolf is right behind me, and if I were to stand up... See, I'm not moving really quickly. But I'm kind of hoping... Yeah, okay, hold on. Yeah. Damn. Okay, I tried. See, there are some cattails there that I could have picked. I'm going to try to avoid firing at this wolf, but the thing is I'm moving so slowly, it's likely to catch up with and charge me. I also can't run at the moment. I have no ability to run. I can easily drop this wolf, I'm not worried about it, but I would prefer to save my rounds. I'm also going to look back here and make sure I'm not walking towards a wolf. All right, we're good. All right, let's make sure we're walking on a clear path. I think we might be able to make it to the cabin. I'm not going to point the rifle, because if I were to do that, he would charge. All right, he's getting a little closer. Oh. Oh, wow, he gave up. I think because the branch, going back to this topic of pathing, I think the branch messed with him. Oh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. The presence of that branch being between me and him, just, he was like, nope. Nope, no can do. Can't chase that player. Haha, get wrecked. That's so funny. The funny thing is I was actually trying to do that. I didn't think it would literally stop the wolf from pursuing me. I thought it would just slow him down. Oh, moose scratchings on that tree. Pretty high up on that tree, too. That must be a giant moose. I love when they're that high because it just makes you think, how big is this animal? That it has to... Okay, never mind. Okay.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Now we really are home, sweet home. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. For early episodes, channel emotes, and member badges, look for the join button. New episodes will be arriving at 1 p.m. US Eastern Time every other day, and comments are always welcome, so leave your thoughts below. And I'll see you next time.